I apologize if my volume is still low. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. At some point, I'll fix things. But that point is not right now. Muted? I don't think I'm muted. That seems unlikely to me. Grumpy, thank you for the 34th. Okay. Just low. Yeah, low. Low makes sense. Not sure how to fix low at the moment, unfortunately. Way lower than the volume. Let me. How's that? Is that better? That's a little better. Okay, let me just manually boost it in OBS for now, and then hope I don't forget about it. All right. How's that? Is that a little better? Oh, look who's here. Tracy, thank you for all the subscriptions that are coming in. Oh, look, I got you. Oh, say hi. Say hello. Ooh. Oh no, I'm wearing headphones again. Not set up for noise gate at the moment. Say hi. Say hi to the stream. Well, we are here, of course, to watch tonight's episode of Survivor. The real merge, not the fake one. I apologize for my face at the moment. It's breaking out. What I've done is I've put the show over here, so you don't have to look at it. I have a kitten in my lap now. He's just out of sight, though. You can see his ear. Oh, no, you can't. Not really climbing lately. I basically just recovered from the sickness. I was down with the sickness. But I'm just recovered. I did not watch the Brand Steel, nor have I watched the Cagayan documentary. I feel like this week for me has just been like trying to get my life back on track. That's been the goal. We do have a couple of interviews lined up that you'll probably see soon. I'm waiting on Chelsea got back to me. She agreed to do the deep dive. Just waiting on scheduling. And then still working out. I need to get back to Quinn. But we're definitely gonna like start. I would assume getting those in soon. This kitten. Dolores, thank you for the 43rd. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it's very funny. Like, not only I've got the show open. It hasn't started yet. And yeah, there's a ton of like political ads, and it's like, jokes on you. I don't even live where you think I do. Because I'm watching on a different coast. And then B, jokes on you doubly. I already voted. Did you vote, chat? Have you sent in your ballots? I'm realizing that I doubt many people would say. I guess you'd say I haven't voted yet. I think very few people would be like, "Nah, I don't vote." Jokes on you. I don't even live in your country. You should be able to exclude yourself from political ads if you vote early. Yeah, just tick a box. We will do a prediction. Commercial by 5:12? Yes, no. I have a kitten on me, so I feel like I can't move much. Which also makes me feel like I'm being quieter. Okay, Ballard, I saw what's P, and I was like, I don't know, what's P? And I realized I think you were saying what's up. But you freaked me out for a second. I was like, is there a P somewhere? I watched this show called Uzumaki. It's all about spirals. And I was like, is P the new spiral? Whoa, authentic-y with the effect. That's strange. I didn't read the manga, no. I assume I'd like it more because I didn't love the show. All right, I think we're starting soon here. And here we are. Rome's outie. Man, the recap is all about Rome, too. Ah, okay, we're bringing up the Andy stuff, though. Okay, so the question of the episode. How upset is Andy really? Because they this wasn't just a preview thing. It was also like they spent a good portion of the episode on it, which to me indicates that like there's actually something there. And it's not just next time on trickery. No time, thank you. Laura, thank you. 44. 42 in a row. Nowhere with 45, thank you. Yeah, I don't know like that explanation was great from Saul. You know, say I was very confident he had an idol. You say I didn't think he had an idol. I was just throwing a vote because Sam told me. Who exactly? It was Sam. Oh boy. He's gunning for Gata. Yeah, I could definitely see this being a boot edit. I mean, they really like hyped up this turn, right? Like, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of this season feels like it's been built up toward this sort of not conflict, but like this storyline. Like there's a lot of Rome stuff for Rome's downfall, but even that felt like a little bit of a dead end. Whereas I don't know, it feels like this Andy Sam Sierra stuff has been so prominent. No. Man, they love these fades. They did this with Genevieve. Both of my I have two draft people that have had this edit now. Oh, and there's Genevieve. Genevieve and Andy, let's make this happen. Interesting. Yeah, early commercial. Next prediction. How about does Kyle get a confessional? Yes, no. Does Kyle get a confessional in the next segment? So, what's interesting about this is that the way that they've set this up, at least, you could see a world where this is like set up sort of like a Big Brother alliance, like a secret duo. Because why would anybody think that Genevieve and Andy are genuinely Genevievely like working together tightly like that? Not that people haven't done secret alliances in Survivor before, but it's a much more common kind of like tactic in Big Brother. It's a lot easier to do in Big Brother. It's a lot easier to hide your numbers. But like, if you have Genevieve working Red Tribe, Andy working Yellow, Um, like there's a world where that's like very effective, depending on like the problem is that Andy doesn't seem to have a ton of influence over his tribe slash alliance, but like you could still make something like that work. But you could also get caught right away. But I think it's like I think it's key to like the jump ship I think is huge here. Like he shouldn't be announcing it to the world necessarily. Um but recognizing that he's in a vulnerable position in that alliance and jumping ship I think is absolutely what he should be doing here. All right, we're back. This feels like a secret scene. Eat all of the men. Gabe. Yep. Yeah, I mean that's absolutely the move for her. Take Gabe out. You've already taken the shot. You need to follow through and just continue to try to get him out. And using the women's alliance to do it is great. Is this dual immunity? Hold on. What are we doing immunity right now? Surely not. Okay. I'm ready to call this a no for the Kyle confessional because clearly the rest of the segment's going to be commercial, going to be challenge. We're really just doing immunity right now? All right, I'm gonna choose no. Kyle did not get a confessional. Which color? You saw the two colors. How are you surprised by this? We're doing half the group is immune this time. Okay. Won't cast a vote, though. That's better. I like that. I need to see the colors again. What are the colors? Yellow and red? Oh, now, okay. So last time it's you're not going to make the merge. Now you've made the merge, but you're not going to make the jury. Yellow and blue. Okay. All right. Which color wins the challenge? Is it yellow or blue? Man, Jeff is really excited about this. Gabe and Tiana in the same group. Andy in the same group as Sam and Sierra with Genevieve. And Saul. Okay, this team loses. Surely. Because this is exactly the dynamic of the makeup of this group is exactly what we need for the drama that they've set up. It's like exactly it. The only thing on the other side is Tiana and Gabe. So like the possible storylines right now to me are is the former I think Blue Tribe going to vote out Rachel or turn on Gabe? And then on the other side it's does Andy turn on Tuku? Or do they turn on him? Oh my god, now we have a commercial. What is happening? The Gabe thing, yeah, doesn't feel realistic enough to me right now because Gabe hasn't even been in this episode yet. Granted, nobody's been in this episode yet. I guess they started the challenge early because they needed to do all this explanation. And so now they're going to start the challenge proper next time. So technically it's in the third segment instead of the second. which is a little more normal. But this is still a lot. It's also especially a lot because there's only going to be 6 people voting. So, like, the dynamics are a little bit simpler. Theoretically, at least. I mean, okay. Like, thinking about it, I do see the world where the Tiana Gabe stuff comes up, because that feels more up in the air right now, whereas the Andy stuff feels like it could be more long term. Like, if the Andy thing comes up right now, then they've just set up today's episode, like this week's episode last week. Whereas they spent so much time on it last week that it felt like it could be more long term, and that today's episode could be a more short term, like, women's alliance conflict thing. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that, like, can you actually get. I mean, I guess if Rachel leaves here, it immediately puts a squash on the women's alliance, right? Which is. Um, which would make sense for a short term storyline while setting up a more long term thing. So, yeah, I can kind of see it. Or backfiring on Tiana, yeah. But at the same time, I mean, Women's Alliance coming together and voting out Gabe also works. It just doesn't seem quite as likely at the moment because he just hasn't been in the episode. Like, and the other group is just like, it does actually just feel more straightforward thinking about it more. It's just like, it's just Andy flips. It's, is it Teeny over there? It's Genevieve, Saul, Andy, Sam, Sierra, and I think Teeny. Yeah, it must be. So it's just Andy flipping to Red Tribe. And what's the incentive to not do that at this point? Like, not a ton. There's like a ton of time left in the episode for it just to be about that, unless it turns back around on Andy. But why would they even do that? All right, we're back. Oof. This does look hard. Do they have to? Are they? They have to keep their head. Their head placement is all over the place. Andy's down. Rachel's down. Down goes Sierra. I think you probably take some weight off of your head while you move. Because you can control your arms sort of like in terms of the vibration of moving, like the wiggle. But your head is just gonna go up and down regardless of what you do. But then obviously you have to put it right back on your head once you get there. I don't think you should even take it all the way off your head necessarily, but the only way to win this, I think, is to just use your head. Yeah, yellow's already losing. And Kyle's still in. Jeff may call them tiny steps. I would call them teeny steps. Down goes Sue. Danny, thank you for the 25th. Sam looks like he's struggling, which means he's probably using his arms more than the others, which is not a very viable long-term position. Oh! Oh! She's not good. Now it's just Kyle. But he was always the favorite. Down goes Sam. And Genevieve looks like she's dropping. Oh! Wow. Oh, and down goes Kyle. Wow. They were all struggling there. Kathy with 39, thank you. What a great way to win immunity, too. You don't have to win it individually. You win it for your team. All right, so it is what we were talking about just then during the commercial. It seems like the conflict here is women's alliance versus tribal alliance. My whole draft team is safe. Let's go. Okay. Yellow wins the challenge. Next prediction. Any talk of Sue's idol? Yeah, is there any talk of Sue's idol in the next segment? It has to be Sue's idol, specifically. Could be from Sue or somebody else who knows that Sue has it. Just got to be some kind of Sue idol reference. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I wasn't super listening. So when Kyle won immunity, I was a little surprised. A little bit surprised. But basically, since he was the longest lasting of the losing group, he won individual immunity. Cito, thank you for the 40th in a row. I appreciate that. We have like an hour left. Like just under an hour left. It's kind of wild. If you guys haven't checked out the top horror movies of the year on Tastemakers, check it out. We Know Scripted TV on YouTube. I spent all month just watching a ton of horror. Yeah, only 5 people being vulnerable is pretty wild. Yeah, Kendall, you can't tell I'm breaking out because I'm literally hiding it. Am I in focus, though? I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm just out of focus, which is kind of wild. I should be back here, I guess. Hold on. That's a little better. All right, we're back. We're back. We Know Scripted TV is its own YouTube channel, but it's still under the RHAP brand and name. Yeah, I mean, honestly, 1,000%, they should just make this into a six-person alliance. The other five will likely end up being five of the same tribe if they don't go with the women's alliance. The women's alliance kind of has to do something. Ooh, I feel like it's been a while since there's been a clue at a reward. Wow, it's literally just right there. It's not even that hidden. It's a lot of varies. Gabe's hair is crushing it right now. All right, they're giving Gabe the content he needs to be voted out. It's a good argument from Tiana. What a face. Here's the problem, though. It's 3-3 right now, unless they pull Caroline. So the problem I think with this plan is that it requires Caroline. Okay, hold on, hold on. That's a no on Sue's idol being brought up. I did not catch any references to Sue's idol. Okay, next prediction. Who finds the reward advantage? Is it Teeny, Andy, Saul, Sam, Sierra, or Genevieve? Or nobody? That's the prediction. If nobody finds it in the next segment, the answer is nobody. Even if somebody finds it in a later segment. Is it better odds for Rachel if she snitches on the plan and presents Tiana's plan back to the other three? I actually think there's a world where that works. But because right now the burden is on Tiana to pitch it to Caroline, I would let Tiana pitch it to Caroline. And then if Caroline's not on board, then Caroline's likely to snitch on the plan. And they come to you. Like, if they want to flip on Tiana, if you don't have the numbers and they want to flip it, they will likely come to you. And you don't need to take the risk of trying to go to them. So in this circumstance, in this situation, I'm not sure that I would go and rat them out. I'd first just get a sense of like, okay, Tiana goes to Caroline. What does Tiana say to me about that conversation? Maybe even get in on that conversation if possible, but I doubt you can do that. But if Tiana comes back to me and is like has any amount of hesitation of like, I think she's on board. No. And honestly, anything she says about how on board Caroline is, I think Rachel needs to go talk to Caroline about it and be like, "Hey, what's up? What are you feeling? What are you thinking?" Get a read yourself. And then if Caroline seems like she's not on board, then maybe you can feel out the flip idea. But like, it's also relative. Oh, I have a kitten. Hey, buddy. I keep thinking it's about to come back, and then it's another commercial. Kitten. And This is a long preview. Come here, buddy. Say hi. Say hello. Okay. That's... All right, we're back. Wow, that is a lot of bats. No wonder why they have a bat immunity. Okay, here we go. Andy? He's literally looking and it's right there. Why are you so mad at somebody looking for an advantage? He was right next to it. There it is. Hmm. It's a good argument. The argument of we are 5 coming back to a 6 is a great argument. Caroline's argument is also pretty good. But the problem is, oh, the glue. Is she the glue girl? Um, the argument of like Kyle and Shields in front of us, Kyle and Gabe as Shields in front of us, isn't great on Survivor though, because what happens if Kyle has immunity and they need to split votes, or they're worried Gabe has an idol? No. He wants dinner. Okay, I'll get you dinner soon, okay? Promise. Gotta wait until commercial. Okay, okay. I promise. All right, I'm gonna. He wants dinner, so I'll be right back. Tonight's tribal council. Block a vote or safety without power. Does he choose or do they choose? I mean, did they choose which power, or does he choose which power? I know he chooses the person, but who chooses the power? I assume them. They choose. Okay. Um. Okay. Okay. Let's just catch up a little bit here. Saul gets the power. Who does Saul give the advantage to? Rachel, Gabe, Caroline, Tiana. Sue, Kyle. Who should he give it to? Is a question. It seems to me like Rachel just flat out makes the most sense for a few reasons. Rachel survives the vote, never even has to worry about what, like, even if there was a vote flip in motion, Rachel doesn't even know for sure that it would have happened if she hadn't been safe. So they can't like lock her in the same way that they would have necessarily. She also then gets this safety from him. Rachel is somebody who is not only not super affiliated with that tribe in the first place, but also isn't super affiliated with her own tribe. So you could really potentially pull her in with that move. I guess there is a downside though. In that Rachel is one of the people pushing for the women's alliance. And so Rachel surviving, Gabe's leaving would maybe be rough for Saul if that happened. If he's not able to pull in Rachel and she feels like she could have been safe. So there's some reason to feel like maybe don't go in that direction. If you give it to somebody like Gabe, okay, there's some value to this too. If you give it to somebody like Gabe and just let the vote oh, geez, we're back already. You just let the vote happen on Rachel, then you do present this 5-person tribe that feels very threatening and giving incentive for the other 2 tribes to come together. Okay, the more I start talking about this, the more I'm liking not giving it to Rachel. Yeah, I kind of like not giving it to Rachel. I mean, I know he doesn't know about the Women's Alliance, but if you just look at the argument that Tiana's been making, I think it makes a lot of sense. Like, if you let the other tribe vote out Rachel, it weakens former yellow tribe, forces them to work with you while also like building a bridge toward former blue, putting you right in the middle. We do have so much time. Does that imply that there's a tie? Is that, but that's not even possible because there's only ever going to be 5 votes. Because there's either going to be safety without power or block a vote. Yeah, I guess 2-2-1 could happen. Just feels so unlikely. Shot in the dark would make it down to 4. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, they're okay. I mean, the question now is, does Saul have to make the decision publicly? Because that obviously impacts what he decides to do. And if so, or if not, has he made the decision already? Has he like locked it in, or can he watch this and then decide? Her little, she did her little wiggle. Pickle on blast. I like what Caroline said about wanting it to have an impact. I appreciate that. This is dragging. Yeah, I think a huge part of like I mean you guys know I already don't like tribal, but like this is extra boring because you're right. None of it matters until the advantage is given. And we don't even know if the advantage is yet to be given yet. Hmm. Okay. Oh, there it is. Who sent her that? The what? Dang. Yeah, it sounds like he did choose the which one. Thank you, whoever you are. Are we just gonna redo tribal now? Is that what we're gonna do? Okay. He gave it to Rachel. Next prediction. Who do they vote out? Caroline, Gabe, Tiana, Sue. Yeah, this if that genuinely was such a waste of a segment. I feel like they had what, like 3 banger episodes in a row. This has been such a miss. I feel like it had a strong start. But like between what looks like maybe a double tribal council and how many people? Like 8 people being immune? It's just like what are we doing, you know? Like genuinely, why did we have that whole tribal? That was I mean roughly 10 minutes, right? Like roughly 10 minutes of tribal council when none of it mattered. And we knew none of it mattered. The moment when she whips out the advantage, yeah, great. But like everything before then could have been cut down so much. I mean, okay. I'm going to stay optimistic. I feel like there's hope for this next bit to be fun. Bit of live tribal. Tiana maybe being ratted out. Gabe coming for Tiana, like the Rachel stuff, the Caroline stuff, like this could be fun, but I just feel like we'll see. Predictions should run for a full minute. That's been the procedure. I can't let the predictions run too long because I'm usually behind with the broadcast. So I have to make sure that the prediction stops like well in advance in case people that are ahead of me end up seeing the thing that they're predicting and knowing the answer. All right, we're back. We are just restarting tribal. Lovely. Gabe signaling go with the plan that we had before merge. That was a good play by Gabe. I like that. Jeff, at this point, you're just distracting her so that the others can talk. Like, Kyle's down, but it's down to Caroline. Listen, Gabe has played this well. I don't like how he approached Kyle, though. They're leaving it up. See, now the other six have a ton of ammo to go back to Rachel and be like, yeah, they were definitely planning to vote you. They all freaked out after you left. I don't even know enough about Caroline's positioning to know which way she should go. All right, I'm going to cover the chat. So this is likely going to be 3-2 Gabe or 4-1 Tiana. So if there are 2 Gabe votes, it should be over. Caroline's not going to turn her back on Sue. Yeah. I remembered like in the last second, oh yeah, Sue has an idol. And Caroline knows about it. Caroline's an alliance maintainer. She's not gonna burn Sue by voting out Gabe when she can vote out Tiana and keep both Sue, Gabe, and then also Kyle's fine with it, you know? Oof. Kyle voted for her because he knew Caroline wasn't there, and if Caroline wasn't there, the votes weren't there, so he flipped, is what I would assume. I mean, it seems pretty clear based on what we saw that he tried to flip Caroline. She basically said no, and so he didn't go with Tiana. I mean, ultimately, this is. Yeah, I mean, I think that Tiana was poorly positioned within this tribe, but like this voting scenario only happens with such specific circumstances. Like it's such a brutal way to go, especially for it to be you don't get to be on the jury. That's just cruel. Like for it to be this specific twist and on top of that you don't get to be on jury is just like come on. Either just put them on the jury or just do this twist when somebody doesn't make the merge and not get to be on the jury. Wow, 69% thought Gabe was going to be voted out. If that doesn't show you that this is not a spoiled season, I don't know what does. Tiana. It was. The Summit. All right, here we go. Survivor auction. The shot of Andy. Yeah, I mean, it does kind of come down to Tiana's choice in the first vote they made. She didn't choose to try to force the rock situation. I remember us watching that and being like, I really feel like Caroline might flip or might buckle. Given what we've seen of her now, I'm not sure. I still feel like she might have in that spot, but you know, it was a tough spot. I don't think you can put too much fault on Tiana for that. It was a tough spot to begin with. It's just like when she talks about like putting her trust in the wrong people, it's like, yeah, probably, but you know, what other choice did she have? Like, you know, she did have another choice, but it was a tough choice. It wasn't like a brutal spot. or like a bad, like a super bad thing. Um, your Sue's son-in-law. um, yeah, I mean, I think that like honestly, this probably works better than them voting out Rachel. Because Tiana was looking to flip to begin with, and now they do seem weaker. Like they seem like a maybe not even that tight of a 4, but they seem like a tight 3 maybe, but like that's not super super dangerous. Um, if you want to watch the summit, Chappelle and I have been covering it. I will tell you, episode 5, this episode that's on, better than the previous 2 in my opinion. If you've been watching the summit, this episode picks up a little bit, I think. There's a lot of screaming. All right. Well, uh that is what we've got for you tonight. Um I will probably be back this weekend. Like I said, stay tuned for some Big Brother interviews. And listen, we'll make it work. We'll keep the ball rolling here. But thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I feel like not my favorite episode of Survivor. We'll definitely get the soundbite tournament. We've got some plushie reward streams to do as well. I'm mostly just like trying to get back on top of things and then get into a little bit of a rhythm at some point. All right. That's what we got. Check out the Tastemakers. We dropped our top 5 horror movies of the year. And we'll keep it rolling. All right. Thank you all. See you later.